Dexter, and there goes his sister Dee Dee. Oh boy, wonder what they're gonna get into today. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, Dexter's in the lab again, making up anything he's imagining. There goes Dee Dee, his sister. He always argues with her. She thinks she knows it all because she's older and she's bigger. Whatever Dexter wants, he just goes and creates robots. It doesn't matter the size or the shape. He's always doing crazy tests and making a mess. And if they don't come out correct, well, you know what happens next. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. He can always count on it to get him into trouble or to get him out of it. Sometimes if he needs Dee Dee, then he'll use her. But Dexter's only true best friend is his computer. It's always a lot of fun when you experience Dexter with all his new wacky experiments. So tune in to Dexter, the world's youngest inventor, so you can join him for his crazy adventures. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up. Back to the lab again. Not again. Back to the lab again.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And coming up next, it's the Jets' electric quarterback. After his last game, he's now across 3,000 yards for the season. It's the Jets and the Rams. All that and more coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the net. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a first-round pick back in April's draft.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
They're able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
They'll look to throw. He gets that to the longtime Charger. It's Mike Williams. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that'll bring up a second down in just a couple. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. They'll look to throw again. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. The Jets are 12-2 now on the year. They were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Throw right side, Wilson. He is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They'll run with Allen. Bobby Brown on the tackle. Well, this defense for the Rams, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Now, that's twice now already in this first quarter that he's been able to knock a ball away.
They're going to need that from him and plenty more if they want to slow down this passing game. Thus far, though, he's been a ball magnet.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he doesn't quite make it. Taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. First and goal. Allen is into the end zone for a Jets touchdown. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Sometimes in life, you just gotta have an allergy to all the lies that you've been fed, to all the bull that they've been feeding you. You gotta be allergic. Yeah. Salicylic acid, hella anaphylaxis. I think I need some aspirin for this BS. I'm regressing to this irony, and honestly, I bought my soul back, nigga, and signed the deeds. And that way, systems are swollen, these politics is polluting all this propaganda politics to the people, and that's evil. And all these dirt devils make me sneeze on my easel. So I push power on my foreign machine and carry around a notepad. So I follow the dream, I fall asleep on the silence, cause silence is too expensive. Have a brave habit, the rabbit hole is expensive. And now they got a mind stuck in this precinct. And the desire to speak stings. I might convulse, but it's high time. Too many people are addicted to the high mind, and everybody know that hides it. Check out a big picture to bring you down the sides with. Sneaking through your ears just to open your eyelids, cause everything's louder when you focus in silence. Hit a contradiction, I hope y'all alert. Beginning to haunt me, this is something you produced the dirge. I had myself an allergy to all these fallacies. And niggas ain't out the world, these niggas way out the galaxy. To see the devil got my level all Hubble. Penny for your thoughts and a dime for your trouble. Dime for your trouble. Penny for your thoughts and a dime for your trouble. Trouble, a dime for your trouble. A dime for your trouble.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
It's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And his numbers this year have been eye-popping in a lot of categories. And one area that stands out is the NFL leader in rushing touchdowns by a quarterback here in the latter part of the season. They'll come out throwing here, start the drive. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare completion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Second, yeah, look to throw again. It's a first down. Get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Again, he'll drop the throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught in the end zone. I'll let you do the analysis part of it. Every touchdown passes, young quarterback throws, and the success that his team has had, I just get to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. We both do. I think you've always been big. We've seen him settle in down. You can see the confidence the team has grown. His confidence has grown.
chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
At the 7-yard line.
Back to throw again. Steps away. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Jets will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
This is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You got to walk the line with it. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Set to take the field once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays. They start the drive with a give to Allen. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. How about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Here's Allen. And he gets it down to the 32. Well, now hang on here because he appears to be shaken up. Not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. got the lead here, and we get set to begin quarter number 4. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Davis, he'll try to run for it. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. He'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Sack, and it brings up second. And that CD, another sack for the young rookie linebacker. Well, getting after the quarterback certainly has not been much of a problem here in his rookie season.
He certainly hasn't, Brandon, and the instincts that have made him a great tackler, I think coupled along with some film study and some great anticipation, that's also made him a great pass rusher as well.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Touchdown, Jets! A great play there. With a 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Jets look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here this 4th quarter. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QB is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Set to take over. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do if they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
45 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now we've got a stoppage for an injured player, and that appears to be Garrett Wilson, who is shaken up on the play. They keep it on the ground. Allen again. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. And it appears we've got a member of the Rams shaken up on that last play. And not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter. Looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just...
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets are on their way to a 13th win on the year as they add on to their lead. Well, elusiveness is certainly one of his calling cards, and that trait on full display there on the touchdown run.
And normally when you get down near the goal line, it's power football that wins the day. But here, he shows off his footwork and that make-you-miss ability that he possesses, and he carries it into the end zone.
Walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
It certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Jets, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13 and 2 on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for L.A., it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.
I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna tie on the shoes and put on my neck and walk around with no t-shirt on and flip flops and camo shorts. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring DC to the mainstream so everybody know how we get down where I'm from. The go-go music, the mambo songs, you know what I'm saying? Everything that we stand for. You know how we used to do slouch socks back in the days. I'm gonna paint that picture for everybody, you know? I'm a gorilla, I spit till the void fill up. Cause honestly, I feel the radio with straight filler. If north is up and south is down, why every 5 minutes niggas walking it out? That's not a jab at but I don't think the PDs is reasoning with us. Cause they don't wanna think, no, they just wanna dancing. She ain't trying to learn, she wanna shake her little ass while they ring with their cash. If I don't make that man there dance, that man there throw Wale on the shelf and not lose. I'm not moving like a cartoon or the harpoon of Tom Cruise with a jock tune. For every black thought I caught roots. It don't feel right, so what I'm gonna do is slap-sided like a AA collar, trying to undertake a D1 scholar. They need work, the freaks her make their knees work. Yerp, she on X, I call that bitch Speed Burst. I plead with him, the system ain't right like the first Nintendo, the blinking red light. So my thought process is all but a cartridge. When I'm blown, I can work proper, yeah. Listen up, I ain't there kissing up. Every single single ain't a single just to hit the clubs. I am not involved, no, do I indulge in the harvest thing? A poor artistry, I rock awesomely. The offspring of the flawless brings game. I'm autumn leaves change, photosynthesis, notice what the focus is. I move the club like a polka dealer, and most feel me like masseuse, lyrical Kama Sutra. But radio ain't trying for a suit, so what you've heard is the fix like super. Intended, attend them, cool cuz, it's true cuz, the radio don't do much. I lead the city in requests, but don't do nothing. Them dudes frontin' like grills, frontin' like for real. They take a loss, man, I'm all about the bills, and I'm about to fill y'all in on the real. No BDS, no deal.